Hi, welcome to the channel Inspiration Always. I am Preeti. Today I have brought another interesting topic, and that is harmony in relationships. What are the essential ingredients of harmony in relationships? What is the basic foundation of a healthy relationship, a happy relationship? We all want to experience that happiness in our lives, happiness in our relationships, and even if we achieve some success, even if we are earning too good, if even if your income is too high, still we want our relationships to be very happy and healthy. And it is a basic ingredient, a basic element in our lives around which revolves our life. So how to make our relationships healthy and happy, and how to bring harmony in our relationships? Everybody would think if there is love, there would be happy relationship. If there is love, there would be harmony in relationship. But let me share with you very candidly, even if there is love, it's not a guarantee that there would be happiness in the relationship. You would find, in fact, on the contrary, different examples where love is the most, still they are not happy in the relationships, and love becomes more of controlling nature rather than liberating nature. So that is the major problem in everyone's relationship, be it the relationship of parents and children, be it the relationship of husband and wife, in-laws, and uh, parents-in-law and daughter-in-law. So those kinds of relationships become more of, you can say, a bondage rather than a relationship. So in that relationship, we feel that we are compromising, or we are just carrying on with it, but we are not actually happy. It's just that we have accepted the reality, or it's a hard fact of life. But it's not like that. Life is to be lived. We want to live our relationships. We want to live our life to the fullest. And we can actually live our life to the fullest if we understand one important thing, that to have a very good, healthy, happy relationship, the most important thing which is required is the respect. Unless you respect the other person, unless you respect the feelings of the other person, you would not be able to experience that kind of bond with that person. You would not be able to experience that connection with the other person, so which is fulfilling. Ultimately, our goal of life is to have fulfilling relationships, but to have fulfilling relationships, we need to respect each other. So what happens usually is, it becomes more of a power struggle than a relationship. So we want to prove ourselves superior, or we want to prove ourselves better, or we want to prove ourselves right, and in order to win the argument, in order to win the battle, we lose the relationship. And there is another important aspect which is attached to this kind of unhappy relationship, is where we give too much of importance to what task I am performing. Like, if in a male dominated society where male counterparts, they feel that they are the breadwinners and they are the ones who are feeding the family, they are the ones who are providing the financial needs to the family, so they are the superior ones and they should be given the respect. Let me share with you that respect is earned. It's not which you have like a birthright. It's not a birthright. It's just not because you're a parent you would get the respect and you deserve respect. It's not just because you're a boss you deserve respect. I think some parents believe that their children, they follow them and they obey all their directions, they follow all their instructions, and they are just in their limits and they are just as per their expectations. But that's a false notion, because it's not love, it's fear. It's not a healthy relationship. They are in a misconception. Children don't respect them by heart. So respect is something which the other persons gives to you because of your qualities, because of the values, because of the virtues you implement in your life. And most above all, respect is earned by giving respect. Unless you give respect to the other person, you would not be able to receive it from the other person. So to gain respect, you have to give respect, and to give respect, you have to understand this thing that we all are equals. Our roles may be different, we may be performing different roles, but we are equals, and everyone's task is equally important. Even we can't survive without the other person, because whatever task he is performing, uh, we need that person to perform that task. So if the male is the breadwinner, he needs someone to take care of his children, he needs someone to take care of his house, he needs someone to cook meals for him. Suppose if he isn't healthy, suppose his body is not given food, in a good, in a right manner, and he's not provided healthy meals at right times, then his health may suffer, and then he would not be able to give as much productive work as he can otherwise. So that is an important element, and he is just, he is just set free from all other worries and anxieties concerning the other tasks which are also important. So he should consider that the other person who's doing the different role is also equally important, and he or she deserves respect. And second thing which is important is that we have to accept this fact the other person is different from us. He is not an extension of us, he is not us, he is not our product, he is not our pet, he is not our toy. The other person is a unique individual, and he has his own likings and dislikings, he has his own ideas, he has his own viewpoints, he has his own outlook towards life and towards different things. So we have to understand that it's not necessary that he would be thinking our way only, or he would be having the same outlook as we are having, or he would be doing the same things as we do. We have to understand that we are different, and difference must be enjoyed. It's just like you have different notes in a music and you enjoy, and music becomes music because there are different notes in it. If there are all the notes were same, music would not be there. So obviously, to create a harmony in relationships, you need that kind of difference too. But giving respect is that you understand those differences, but at the same time you give respect to the other person's feelings, because he's attached to his ideas, he's attached to his viewpoints, he's attached to his way of doing things. So we must understand that his feelings are attached with that, and we have to take care of those feelings, we have to respect those feelings. We have to take care of those feelings, we have to respect those feelings, because that makes him the him, that's his essence. So if we are not respecting his ideas, if we are not respecting his views, then we are actually disrespecting the other person, we are letting him down. And in a relationship where one person is letting the other person down, how can you experience that sweetness, how can you experience that harmony, how can you experience that love? So even without respect, even love cannot exist. You can take an example of a child may love his father who's a drunkard and abusive, but it's not necessary that he would respect him. He may disrespect him for his behavior. So, on contrary, you may not like any person, but because of respect, you maintain your relationship with him, you respect his feelings, you take care of his feelings. You don't like him as such, you don't love him that much, still your relationship would survive. So the best relationship is where love and respect both are there, but even if love is not there, respect is most important ingredient. You are degrading someone, you are criticizing someone all the time, or you are showing the other person down, or you're letting his self-esteem down, and then you say that you love that person, of course that person will not be happy with you. He may acknowledge whatever you do for him, but he may not respect you. You would not experience that kind of bond with that person. So experience that sweetness, that love, that happiness, the charm. And that charm is more important than winning the game. So it's not a game where we have to win the argument. Sometimes to win the argument, or to prove ourselves right, and to prove the logic, or to prove the truth, uh, we we go way too far, or we mix our emotions, and in that case we spoil the relationship. It's just like adding poison in nectar. It's just like adding poison in pure milk. You lose the essence of that relationship in that case. In some cases what happens is, when we are proving ourselves right, or we are proving ourselves true, we mix our emotions into it. For example, if we are disappointed, if we are frustrated, if he is not behaving the way I want him to behave, if he is not doing the things which I want him to do, so I feel frustrated, I feel angry, and I have complaints, and I have all the grudges, and I have resentment. And when I convey my viewpoint to that person, my anger, my frustration, my resentment, it gets mixed, and what is conveyed is not my message. What is conveyed is not what I want to tell him. What gets conveyed is the emotion, and that is a negative emotion, and that negative emotion is bitter, and of course that will spoil the sweetness of the relationship. So we have to take care, even if we are communicating, even if I want to convey what I want to feel and how I want him to behave, I can do it without mixing these negative emotions. I have to maintain that feeling of respect for the other person. I have to care for his feelings. At the same time, I have to convey those messages to him. I have to convey those ideas to him without mixing those emotions, without mixing those negative emotions. And to do that, we have to maintain our own inner stability. We have to experience that inner calm first, then we have to communicate. So we have to check out, when I am talking to the other person in an angry tone, when I'm talking to another person with disrespect, what's the feeling inside me which is making me behave like that. You would find that feeling is that I was getting disturbed by those differences. I was getting disturbed because he wasn't behaving the way I wanted him to behave. So I have to take care of my own emotions. Why do I get disturbed? Why does my inner state of mind gets disturbed? How do I get deviated from my stable state, my peaceful state? I have to take care of that. So that is the root cause which is causing me to behave in an angry way to the other person, or which is making me complain to the other person or blame the other person. So first I need to correct myself. I need to correct my own emotions, and that I would be able to do if I follow the path of meditation. I need to learn how to quiet my mind. I need to learn how to convert my negative emotions into positive ones, and I have to connect with God, because I'm expecting love and understanding from the other person. When I don't love and understand myself, if I am lacking understanding and love in myself, how would I be able to share it with the other person? So I have to get connected with the source, because he has also a limited stock. He also wants it from outside. I also want it from outside. Who would give to whom? So what we have to do is, we have to take it from the source, who's the ocean of love, who's the ocean of peace, who's the ocean of all the virtues, who's ocean of the knowledge. So we have to connect with that ocean, and we have to take that from him, because his stock never gets depleted, his stocks never gets short. So he is never out of stock. His stocks are always full. So we have to fill our stocks by connecting with him, and then we would be able to deal better with our differences in our relationships. And we need to accept that we are created differently, and he has all the rights to think differently, feel differently, and do differently. And we have to love the other person like God loves us. See how God loves us. We don't follow his teachings all the time. We don't follow even, I would say, 50% of what he says, and we do what we want to do. We don't do what he expects us to do. Still, we get love from him. Still, we get all the support from him whenever we need. Still, he never abandons us. Still, he never says, okay, don't come to me because you didn't follow my instructions. You didn't behave the way I wanted you to behave. He still is there to support us. He's always giving us strength. He's always giving us patience. He's always supporting us. He's always showering his blessings on us. So this kind of love which we receive from God, we have to share with the other people, and then we can bring harmony in our relationships. I hope this video was I hope this video was useful for you, and if you are interested, I would keep sharing more of such videos where I would keep sharing my learnings, what I have got from this life, and the understanding of the things which I have studied in my life. So I would just keep sharing with you, and these are the practical experiences. And this last message, the conclusion of this video: above all, feeling good, feeling light, feeling happy inside is the essence which should be the driving factor of us making any kind of decision or do any kind of communication, whatever we do. So that should be the driving factor, guiding factor. If we feel good after doing something, if we feel good after saying something, we should say. If we don't feel good, then we should refrain from doing that. And feeling good doesn't mean that satisfaction. Sometimes you feel very satisfied when you say something, but inner side, if you just check yourself, somewhere or the other you would lose the happiness inside. You would lose that peace inside. You would not be that happy. You would not be feeling that good, but you would be just satisfied that yes, you accomplished what you wanted to do. You said what you wanted to say, but that's not enough. Your idea of being right is not that important as the feeling of goodness, the feeling good and feeling happy and feeling peaceful. On outer side, people may think that you have surrendered, or they may consider you weak, or they may say you were the loser, but it's not necessary. On the inner side, you are the winner because you won over your five vices, you won over your ego, you won over your these negative emotions. So on the inner side, you were the winner. So just don't care about what people think of you in the outer world. What matters most is what happens to you in your inner world. So your inner world must be full of happiness, joy, peace, contentment. And I hope if you implement this thing in your life, you would definitely found it helpful. And thank you once again for watching this video. Thanks for being there.